Well, my friends, it's that time. It's the season finale of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. I am your host, Bloody Bill Box. Tonight, my friends, we wrap up Season 1, with WWE 2K23 coming out on March the 14th. Tonight is the night to wrap up the season. It's Friday, March the 10th. The game drops on Tuesday for those of us with deluxe pre-orders. The rest of everybody gets it on March 17th. But it's the right time to wrap up the season, because we're going to go ahead, we're going to start building for Season 2. We're going to start exploring the world of WWE 2K23. Got to start getting used to it. It's like a brand new year. WWE 2K23 Exploration will be done over the next month, and WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare Season 2 will premiere on Friday, April 7th. But we'll talk about that at the back end of the show. At the front end of the show, we're not going to do much more talking other than telling you about the 10, that's right, 10 action-packed matches we have on tap for you here as part of our Season 1 finale here at Fantasy Warfare. Our opening contest of the week will see a title versus title affair. AEW, TBS Championship against WWE Women's Championship in a no-holds-barred match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, goes up against Sasha Banks. Then it will be a last woman standing match in our second contest of the week. It will be Masha Slamovich against Bull Nakano. And then it will be a tables match for the AEW World Women's Championship as Chyna defends her title against Raquel Rodriguez. My goodness, I got tongue-tied. I'm so excited about this season finale. Submission match, our fourth match of the week. It will be Matt Riddle going one-on-one with Ken Shamrock. In match number 5, this match has happened before in professional wrestling history, but not with either one of these individuals at the level that they have reached in recent years. For the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in an Extreme Rules match, it will be CM Punk challenging Roman Reigns. Moving along in our season finale, Falls Count Anywhere, as the game Triple H goes up against the man who says he will be the forefront of the bidding war of 2024, MJF. Our seventh match of the week will be a steel cage matchup as Bret the Hitman Hart steps inside of the steel against Eddie Guerrero. Eighth match of the week, we'll see the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels look to avenge recent losses as he goes up against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Our ninth match of the week, we'll see the cleaner Kenny Omega step back into Fantasy Warfare action as he goes up against the man they call Sting. And then in our main event of the week, it will be a Hell in a Cell match for the Hardcore Championship as Bruiser Brody will defend his title against the American Badass, The Undertaker. What a week we have in store. It's our Season 1 finale of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare, but let's not waste any more time. Let's get going with the action here. 10 of them. 10 matches. And now it's time for our opening match. AEW TBS Championship against WWE Women's Championship. It's the Doctor, Britt Baker, going up against the Boss, Sasha Banks. Welcome down to ringside here in Chicago, Illinois. We are live for our season finale of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare, and we are kicking it off title versus title style.
The following champion versus champion contest is a no-holds-barred match and is for the All-Star Extreme Wrestling Women's Television and the WWE Women's Championship. Introducing the champion from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's the All-Star Extreme Wrestling Women's Television Champion, Brittany Baker.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, making her entrance here in Chicago to a loud response from the crowd in this title versus title no-holds-barred match to kick things off here this week in our final episode of Season 1 of Fantasy Warfare. We'll tell you all about Season 2 coming up at the end of the show, but the important thing to note is that it will premiere on Friday, April the 7th.
From Boston, Massachusetts, Sasha Banks!
Sasha Banks, the WWE Women's Champion here in Fantasy Warfare, looking to become Sasha Two Belts. Something she's very familiar with from her previous days in WWE, while still under the name Sasha Banks, of course, now making an impact in New Japan Pro Wrestling as Mercedes Moné. But here in WWE 2K22, we still got us some boss time, some Sasha Banks as the WWE Women's Champion. And as we noted, she'll look to become Sasha Two Belts by taking the AEW TBS Championship from Britt Baker, who just recently won that title from Asuka. It was interesting that the first AEW TBS champion here in Fantasy Warfare was a non-AEW talent, but now it is on the shoulder and around the waist of an AEW talent in the form of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, as we get ready for this title versus title contest. Gotta love the floating belts here in 2K22. Maybe we'll get that together with 2K23. We will find out as WWE 2K23 launches this coming Tuesday, March the 14th. For those of you with Deluxe and Icon pre-orders, and of course, if you just bought the base game, you'll get it on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. That's a Friday for those of you with the basic edition. But either way, WWE 2K23 launches next week, but WWE 2K22 is still rolling strong for another few days here with Fantasy Warfare, as Sasha Banks starts things off strong, taking Dr. Britt Baker down with a nice wrap around the neck and a neck breaker before driving some punches right into the side of the skull of Britt Baker. While this match is starting to get underway, I'd like to thank everybody who still tuned in last week. While we were unable to provide the usual commentary, we hope that you enjoyed the music soundtrack that was provided in place of the usual commentary. Thought it was a nice throwback to the old SmackDown Here Comes the Pain days, where you saw all the action, had a sweet rock soundtrack underneath it all. So that's what we were aiming for last week, while we were unable to provide the usual commentary. But of course, we are back this week. The bonus match earlier this week had my voice on it. And of course, we are here live for this season finale of Fantasy Warfare, calling the action from Chicago, Illinois, as Britt Baker hits a wonderful German suplex on Sasha Banks before driving an elbow right into the back of the skull. You saw Sasha grabbing at the back of the skull. Obviously, that elbow hitting right to the point. Britt Baker now working over the arms of Sasha, looking to weaken that grip ability for the bank statement as Britt Baker hit the Sling Blade takedown and now going into an armbar. Armbar. More of an arm vice, really, with the legs wrapped around it. Sasha now rolling her way through, punching right into the face of Britt Baker and breaks the hold. Britt Baker coming off the ropes. Big time stomp. She drops the women's champion down into the cover. We get a count. We get two. And that's all we get on that one. Sasha able to kick out after the big time stomp from Britt Baker. The women of Fantasy Warfare kicking things off this week. We've got a last woman standing match coming up next between Masha Slamovich and Bull Nakano. And then we've got a tables match for the AEW Women's Championship. It's going to be Chyna, the 9th wonder of the world, defending her title against Raquel Rodriguez. Although in this game, she's still called Raquel Gonzalez. Nice lucha arm drag by Sasha. Down into the cover on Brick. We got a cover. And all we get is two. My body wanted to say Britt and Kick at the same time, so we called her Brick. Britt Baker. Actually, there is a worker in the New England, well, not a worker anymore, but a retired former independent wrestler who goes by the name of Brickhouse Baker. Give him a little shout out here in the commentary. Still teaching the students of the New England wrestling scene to this day as part of the New England Ring Gladiators. New England Ring Gladiators. There we go, take two. We'll keep that. We'll keep both takes. New England Ring Gladiators Wrestling School in Massachusetts. Britt Baker's got not the bank statement, excuse me, the lockjaw. I got my body twists all confused. Got my finishers all confused on that one. Got a little confuzzled. Will Sasha Banks tap out? No, she will not. As I ask the question, she answers it. Rolling through, driving the elbows into the jawline of Britt Baker, causing the break of the lockjaw. Irish whip sends Britt Baker over the top rope. I thought she was going to get a little confused about ropes being there. Sometimes that happens. They go running at the ropes and they just keep running at the ropes. They never do anything. It's like they just get stuck in place. It's crazy. But this match is no holds barred, so that's why the referee is not counting on this one. In case you missed that in the beginning. This one is a no-holds-barred match, so anything does go. The pinfall or submission must occur in the ring, but there are no countouts and there are no disqualifications in this one. Title versus title. Which one of these ladies will exit Season 1 of Fantasy Warfare with 2 championship belts? Nice Hurricane Rana by Sasha Banks on the floor on Britt Baker. Once again, driving those punches right into the side of the head of the Doctor. Sasha Banks in firm control here as the action continues to stay on the floor in this no-holds-barred match. Britt Baker thrown across the ringside area. Sasha now re-entering the ring. Taking a brief moment to taunt the good Doctor herself. As Britt Baker is down on the floor, she looks to be in big-time trouble here. Countering that kick attempt with a kick of her own. Locking up with Sasha and takes her down with a sling blade, this time on the floor. Baker hitting that move a few moments ago in the ring, but had to hurt a little extra with it being on the floor, and Britt Baker returns the favor, re-entering the ring and taunting Sasha Banks, who is down on the floor. Nice shot and a pair of them with a nice side kick to close it out, and then a dragon screw takes down Sasha Banks. Baker trying to drag Sasha into a better position so she can't grab the ropes, it looked like. But Sasha able to roll out of the way. Good time DDT into the cover by Sasha. Referee slow to get in position. That might have cost Sasha the victory on that one. Referee was a little slow to get around on that one, but she's into the bank statement. She's got the Doctor locked in. Could this be all for Dr. Britt Baker and her reign as AEW TBS champion? Sasha's got it locked deep. But she decided for some reason to let it go. I don't know why. Why would you do that? You got it locked deep. Seems like it'd be smart to keep it held in. Sasha's got her straight jacket neck breaker. Got her into the cover. Referee is there. We're going to count 2. And Britt Baker kicks out again. Sasha now stalking at her. She's waiting on her to get up to her feet. What's she going to go for here? A big statement again. Banks statement on Britt Baker. It's no holds barred, so there is no rope break, and she taps out. Sasha Banks is now Sasha 2 belts with a victory over Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, as she is now not only the WWE Women's Champion, but she is also the AEW TBS Champion. What a victory for Sasha Banks here in our opening match this week on WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare Season Finale. but we've got 9 more matches this week. It is an action-packed episode. We're going to come back to ringside with a last woman standing match. It will be Masha Slamovic going one-on-one with Bull Nakano, and that's coming up next.
Here is your winner and WWE Women's Champion, Sasha Banks.
Welcome back to ringside, everybody. It is time for what should be a nice, brutal encounter between 2 of the most ferocious females in wrestling history. First up, here comes participant number 1.
Contest is a last woman standing match. Making her way to the ring from Moscow, Russia, Maska Shabunin.
Masha Slamovic making her way to the ring. Here this week to do battle with Japanese legend Bull Nakano. It will be last woman standing rules. So very similar in the rules to the last match where it was no holds barred, except in this one, doesn't matter where you're the last woman standing so long as your opponent cannot get to their feet before a count of 10. This one ought to be a wonderfully brutal contest. Masha, of course, recently seen on Impact Television having her tongue bitten by Mickie James. And she lived to talk about it. Get it? Ha ha ha. And Bull Nakano, well, her legend doesn't need much describing. One of the most hard-hitting women to ever grace the professional wrestling ring. I think she could be somebody that we put in the discussion as somebody that even gives some of the men a run for their money in terms of how hard she hits in that ring. But here comes the opponent.
And from Kamakura, Kanagawa, Japan, the
Well, looks like Bull Nakano and Masha Slamovic like the same type of entrance style here. Very similar dance of the entranceway. Very similar walk to the ring. Makes you wonder if to some degree Masha Slamovic is inspired by Bull Nakano. Certainly inspired in the hair department at least. Very similar hairstyles out of both Bull Nakano and Masha Slamovic. What a night of action we have this week here at Fantasy Warfare. So many more matches to come. We got Matt Riddle and Ken Shamrock in a submission match. We got Roman Reigns and CM Punk in an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Extreme Rules match. Of course, we got our main event. The Undertaker and Bruiser Brody inside Hell in a Cell for Brody's Hardcore Championship. But enough about those matches. This match, our second match of the week, is underway. As Masha and Bull start things off. A little bit of shoulder block action. Nobody moved on that one. Masha now has Bull tied up in the ropes, driving that foot into the lower spine of Bull Nakano. Masha, not Marsha. It's not the Brady Bunch. Masha starting things off in a very furious fashion, looking to make quick work of Bull Nakano. And I imagine that's got to be one of... Oh, nice counter by Bull Nakano. Going at Bull is, in a fast and furious manner, is definitely going to be a smart strategy, but Bull Nakano quickly countering Masha after that high-risk attempt, and then grabbing her for that cravat suplex. And then dropping her with the arm breaker, but keeping the arm locked into an arm bar. Bull Nakano one more time trying to rip the arm right out of the socket of Masha Slamovic. Masha rolls through and then drives a knee right into the face of Bull Nakano to break that hold, getting her arm back in her possession. Bull Nakano, almost unfazed by the knee, comes back with a Northern Lights suplex on Masha. And now, once again, trying to rip the arms out of the socket of Masha Slamovic. Bull driving the point of her elbow right across the forehead of Masha, and then snapping her neck with a perfect neck breaker. And the referee starts his count as Bull Nakano waits to see if Masha's had enough. I don't think she'll stay down for the 10 count, to be honest with you. This match will only be going on for a couple of moments here. Masha is a very sadistic competitor, and of course, as I'm expressing that thought, she gets up and delivers a nasty German suplex, dropping Bull Nakano on the back of the head before hitting her in the side of the head with a brutal knee strike. Bull Nakano, okay, sure. That was an interesting maneuver there. File that one under Glitch City. The Matrix glitched, everybody. Bull Nakano went for a dropkick. Masha, in some other Matrix, ate that dropkick, but in our Matrix that glitched, nobody hit anybody, but everybody fell. Crazy stuff. Anyway, match continues here this week in Fantasy Warfare. Try not to crack myself up here. Masha hanging Bull Nakano out to dry on the top rope as Bull Nakano falls down to the floor, and Masha following after her. Got a nice leg vice. Oh, jeez. And Bull Nakano said, to hell with your leg vice. I'll show you a leg vice, and then I'll show you a Fisherman's Buster. Dropping Masha and crushing her on the floor as Bull Nakano takes into the ring to soak up the adulation of the crowd here in Chicago, Illinois. It's our season finale of Fantasy Warfare. What a season it has been. And it may be the end of the night for Masha, but she gets up to her feet at the count of 8. Oh, Bull Nakano sent head first right into the ring post on the floor, but Masha gets kicked back by Bull Nakano, who counters the continued attempted offense by Masha. Now they are working their way over to the aisleway, but Masha is just down, and Bull Nakano in the ring once again, waiting to see if this will be enough to keep Masha down. Looks like Bull Nakano is kind of all set with this match. She just keeps trying to take Masha down, not looking to inflict any additional punishment other than what is required to keep Masha down, but she can only keep her down for an 8 count, so looks like she's going to have to punish her a little extra here. Masha with a boot to the midsection, and then a nice scoop slam takes Bull Nakano down to the mat. Oh, hard kick to the spine by Masha. Bringing Bull back up to her feet. Hard shot to the face. Shots to the midsection and the face. Masha just going crazy. And then a lovely, lovely power slam. Almost a driver of sorts. But either way, it keeps Bull Nakano down for the referee to start with the 10 count. And for some reason, Masha deciding to break the count on that one. Oh no, could it be? Package pile driver. That very well could be why Masha broke the count. She wanted to deliver an extra shot to see if maybe she can keep Bull down for that 10 count. We're at a count of 5 here in this one. Last woman standing.
7, 8.
We're at a count of 8 now. Could this be all? Count of 9, and Bull Nakano finally starts to stir, but Masha doesn't even let her get back up to her feet. She just decides to resume the offensive torture of Bull Nakano in an effort to keep her down for a 10 count. But Bull Nakano taking back the offense on Masha. What's she gonna do here? A head and arm suplex? Oh, countered by Masha. Nice counter. Thought Bull Nakano was gonna hit with a head and arm suplex, but Masha Slamovic was able to counter. That's all, folks. I was just trying to do my best Looney Tunes impression for a minute. No random time for me to be doing them, but you know, I wasn't stuttering or anything. That surely was not what was going on. Bull Nakano waiting on Masha to see if Masha will get back up to her feet or if this could be enough to keep the Mad Russian down. It's had flashbacks to an episode of South Park that ironically was centered around wrestling, where Cartman decided he was calling himself the Mad Russian. Oh, Masha is a real-life Mad Russian. Mad with violence and mad with bloodlust. She'll come for your soul. But right now, it's Bull Nakano doing the soul taking. Oh, my! Going nearly 3/4 of the way across the ring for that flipping leg drop. Coming down right across the jaw and the face. And Bull Nakano deciding to interrupt the count on that one. Very surprising. That Bull Nakano opting to break the count there, and she paid for it as Masha was able to take her down, and now the referee's counting Bull down.
3, 4, 5.
Referee reaching a count of 5 here.
6.
Now we've hit 6. Bull Nakano now has 3 seconds, and she stirs. Referee was able to hit 7. And Bull Nakano stirred right away, and Masha puts her right back down on her face. Masha looking to wrap up season 1 of Fantasy Warfare with a victory.
5, 6, 7.
We're at a count of 7 now.
8.
And Bull Nakano starts rolling around. She's back up to her feet, and this match will continue, as neither woman has been able to be kept down for a count of 10 thus far. Bull Nakano brings Masha out of the corner the hard way, but Masha countering a kick into a dragon screw takes down Bull Nakano before smashing the wrist of Nakano off the mat, and then follows it up with a kick to the spine. Masha now going fast and furious once more. It's like she got a second breath of adrenaline here. But Bull Nakano able to fight her way out with a good shot to the midsection. Cravat suplex one more time. Sends Masha across the ring. And now the referee able to start with the 10 count once more. Could this be all in this last woman standing match? We will find out in just a few seconds, really. As the referee now reaches the count of 6, we got 4 seconds to tell. We've got 3 seconds to tell. 2 seconds to tell, and that's all. Masha back on her feet, and she sends Bull Nakano out to the floor, throwing her over the top rope. Down she goes. I think Bull Nakano might have bumped her head on the ring apron there. Being thrown out of the ring down to the floor.
4, 5.
Bull Nakano is not moving. There's no stir at all there. She might have bounced her head there.
7.
Being thrown over the top rope. We got a little bit of leg movement there, but that's about all we've got. We got a count of 9.
10. Okay,
And we get a count of 10. That's it. Masha Slamovic wins this last woman standing match by, after everything these two did to each other in this contest, all she had to do was throw Bull Nakano over the top rope and down to the floor. I'm speculating that Bull Nakano might have whacked her head on the way out, but either way, a win's a win. And Masha Slamovic wins this last woman standing match.
Here is your winner, Masha Slamovic.
But coming up next is a tables match for the AEW World Women's Championship. Chyna defends against Raquel Rodriguez.
The tables match and is for the Women's Championship.
Welcome back to ringside, everybody. Did I say Raquel Rodriguez before the break? Because what I really meant was Raquel Gonzalez, because that's what her name still is in this WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare season. I'm sure in Season 2 she'll be Raquel Rodriguez for WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare, which starts on Friday, April the 7th. But here, still got that Gonzalez last name. And maybe after this matchup is done, she'll have champion in front of all of that as she seeks to dethrone the AEW World Women's Champion, the ninth wonder of the world, Chyna. And now Gonzalez awaits the arrival of the champion. And there it is. It's the music of our AEW World Women's Champion, the ninth wonder of the world. Here she comes, title around her waist. Chyna has been one of the more successful champions here in Fantasy Warfare in Season 1, having numerous successful title defenses under her belt. Many champions in Fantasy Warfare will win the title, hang on to it by virtue of not being in action, and then lose it in their first title defense. Chyna has actually been quite active with defending the AEW World Women's Championship here in Season 1 of Fantasy Warfare, and she looks to end Season 1 on a high note by putting Raquel Gonzalez through a table here. I'm sure most people are familiar with the rules of a table match, but in case you are not, the only way to win this one is to put your opponent through a table with an offensive maneuver. Defensive actions do not count. So, you know, if Raquel Rodriguez is on a table, Chyna comes off with a splash, Raquel moves, and Chyna goes through the table, that's no dice, folks. But if Chyna hits that splash, Raquel's done for. So the race is on in this one to be the first one to put their opponent through a table. We've seen one tables match so far here in Fantasy Warfare this season. It was between the Legion of Doom and the Dudley Boys, and it was a quick one as the Dudleys were able to just kind of knock, I believe it was Road Warrior Hawk, right off the apron through one of the tables set up at ringside. The match probably lasted all of about a minute. I think their tag team entrances actually lasted longer than the match itself. Chyna countering a kick attempt by Raquel Gonzalez. And Chyna heads out to the floor to go grab one of those tables put down at ringside. And Chyna, wow, look at the strength of her. She sent that table just flying into the ring. If I were looking at that table, I'd have been struggling, probably gasping for air, trying to just like, let me throw this table like a baseball. But she just got suplexed on every bit of edging of that table. That had to be pain on the spine for that ninth wonder. And speaking of pain on the spine, this modified torture rack, well, she elbowed her way out of it. She clearly didn't like being inside that torture rack. Irish whip sends Gonzalez into the corner. Chyna dropping her down with a series of stomps. And now choking her challenger with the bottom of her boot. Chyna picking up that table. Is she going to get it set up? She sure is. Chyna looking to make quick work of her challenger here. Sends Rodriguez into the table. Ooh, Rodriguez moves out of the way as Chyna tried to hit her with a forearm shot. Rodriguez has got Chyna. Got her up on the shoulders. Chyna counters down. Nice chop block to the back of the knee of Raquel Gonzalez. Dropping the challenger down to the mat as Chyna heads up to the top rope. Big time splash by Chyna. Kind of funny, we talked about Chyna hitting a splash on a table in the beginning of this contest, and she hits one during the match. Foreshadowing. Rodriguez or Gonzalez, Raquel, whoever she may be. She got hit with a vertical suplex on that one. I was trying to say she was wiggling free from the offensive giant, but she just got dropped for that suplex. There's no wiggling free, but Rodriguez, Gonzalez, Raquel tried for a powerbomb. I just gotta call her Raquel. It'll be much easier that way if it's call her Raquel. Damn WWE changing everybody's names. She's Gonzalez when the video game comes out, and then she's Rodriguez before the damn game even has a chance to have its full life. What is wrong with you, WWE? Chyna going after Raquel. She's got her up, press slam style. What's she gonna do with her? Oh, down and through the table she goes. Chyna retains the AEW World Women's Championship, wrapping up Season 1 with a victory. Showing that power display. There it is. Take another look at it. Well, bam, through the table, and Chyna retains her championship.
Here is your winner, and still Women's Champion, the Ninth Wonder of the World, Chyna!
Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be two men who have UFC history in a submission match. One-on-one, it's going to be Matt Riddle and Ken Shamrock coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare. Welcome back, everybody. The action here on Fantasy Warfare continues. It's going to be a submission match between two former UFC fighters turned pro wrestlers. There you see our first participant making his way to the ring for this submission match.
The following contest is a submission match. Making his way to the ring, representing RK-Bro from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing in at 216 pounds,
Riddle making his way to the ring to do battle with the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, who is making his Fantasy Warfare debut in our season finale. It's an interesting time to make your debut on the show, but hey, there's only so much space each and every week for all of the legendary talent of the past and the present for these Fantasy Warfare battles.
And his opponent from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 259 pounds, Ken Sandrock.
Ken Sandrock making his way to the ring. I really thought it was Ken Shamrock, at least that's what my notes say, but apparently it's Ken Sandrock. LOL. Ken Shamrock making his way to the ring here, looking to be the man that makes Matt Riddle say, tap out, tap out, tap out, tap out. Submission rules in this one. Anything else goes in the meantime. You want to grab a steel chair and beat your opponent's leg into brutal submission, you can absolutely do that in this one. As we have said, anything goes. Submissions must occur in the ring, though. I don't really see Shamrock or Riddle going for any sort of weaponry, seeing as their bodies are weapons. Both men former UFC fighters turned pro wrestlers. Riddle going for the early submission hold, not wasting any time at all. Shamrock working his way through, trapping the leg of Riddle before driving a couple of punches into the side of the head. You'll see Ken Shamrock is wearing the combat gloves, and Matt Riddle is going bare everything in this one. Shamrock with a nice springboard clothesline takes Riddle down to the mat, and now going into an Anaconda Vice on Matt Riddle. These guys are not looking to waste any time in making the other one submit. A callback to their old UFC days. Those were very limited rounds, I believe 3-minute rounds. You didn't have much time to make your opponent submit within the rounds if you wanted to escape without going to multiple rounds, and I think that's what each of these guys have for that mentality here in this contest, as Riddle is already going for another submission hold that Shamrock is able to break. These two men, experts in the land of submission wrestling, as we have said, former UFC fighters, and of course, the pro wrestling background. Both men trained in a variety of fighting styles, and they are putting it on display here today in this submission match as Matt Riddle keeps the hands locked after that gut-wrench suplex, showing a little bit of his strength. Riddle up to the top rope on Shamrock and down with a big-time senton across the stomach of Ken Shamrock. Riddle now also off the ropes with another one. Two sentons back-to-back by Matt Riddle. Clothesline attempt by the world's most dangerous man. Shamrock, oh my goodness, press slamming Riddle out to the floor. He just picked Riddle up like he was a sack of potatoes and dumped him down like he was nothing. Nice back elbow by Shamrock to the temple of Riddle before sending Riddle colliding into the ring steps. Kick to the side of the head by Riddle. Oh, sends Shamrock into the guardrail. What's he gonna do with him? Oh, a power bomb on the floor by Matt Riddle. What a devastating move. He's got Shamrock dazed and confused on the floor. That much is for sure at this moment as Shamrock heads back into the ring while Riddle collects himself and follows him right back into the ring. Shamrock was taking a moment. He gets caught with some knees by Riddle, who came flying back into the ring, taking advantage of that breather that Shamrock was taking. But Shamrock grabs Riddle by the foot, takes his feet out from underneath him, drops him to the mat. But Riddle returns fire with a nice forearm shot to the jaw. Brings Shamrock up, overhead chops, and a big-time knee. Drops the world's most dangerous man to the mat. Forearm shot by Riddle, and another one. Oh, nice Pele kick by Matt Riddle on Ken Shamrock. Riddle has got Shamrock tied up. He's got him tied up in a big way. Can't really tell what he's got locked in, though. The referee's in our way. Either way, Shamrock able to break the hold. But Riddle remains in control. Another big time senton off the top rope. Now he's waiting. Oh, Shamrock moves out of the way of that one. Shamrock dropped one more time, but Shamrock counters one more time. Oh, it's the belly-to-belly suplex by Shamrock. We could be getting close to an ankle lock here. And there it is. He's going for the ankle lock. Riddle able to break free on the ankle lock. Riddle's got Shamrock on his shoulders. Drops him down across the top rope. Bringing him back to his feet. Nice kick to the side of the head. Elbows to the side of the head. Very UFC style. Oh, rope break. Those rules still apply here in this submission match, apparently. I was unaware there'd be some rope breaks. Flying crossbody by Riddle takes Shamrock down. Riddle with better positioning. He's got the legs spread, trapped. He stretches Shamrock out. And Shamrock taps out. I don't believe it. Ken Shamrock has tapped out to Matt Riddle in this submission match. I got to admit, I wasn't expecting that as the finish here. I thought for sure that Ken Shamrock's veteran status in not only the UFC, but in pro wrestling would be the advantage that would propel him to the victory here today in this submission match with Matt Riddle, but I was dead wrong. My bookie's going to be looking for some money. That stinks. But what doesn't stink is what's coming up next. It will be an Extreme Rules match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. In one corner, it will be CM Punk.
Here is your winner,
And in the other corner, it will be the head of the table, the current and reigning IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. And that match is coming up next here in our season finale of Fantasy Warfare.
The following contest is an Extreme Rules match and is for the International Wrestling Grand Prix Heavyweight Championship.
Welcome back to ringside, everybody. We got an interesting contest for you, because you might have been looking at this one of the match lineup saying, hey, wait a minute, Bloody Bill. We've seen CM Punk and Roman Reigns before. They've collided in WWE in tag team matches. CM Punk employed the Shield as his personal bodyguard team upon their debut in WWE. What gives here? Why are you doing CM Punk and Roman Reigns? Well, let me tell you why we're doing CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Because we have never seen this CM Punk. The post-434-day championship reign. The post-AEW Brawl Out CM Punk. We have never seen this CM Punk go one-on-one with the Roman Reigns that carries the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Before, he was just Roman Reigns of the Shield. Almost looked like a Roman Reigns that was hanging on to what shreds of the Shield still existed. But now, Roman Reigns is the head of the table, the tribal chief, the leader of the bloodline. So in our opinion, here at WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare, that made this match a Fantasy Warfare matchup because the chances of us seeing 2022 CM Punk against 2022 Roman Reigns, seeing them in those respective energies, is more than likely never going to happen. But here today, thanks to Fantasy Warfare, we can at least see what would happen if these two men with their current energies, or in the case of CM Punk, the most recent energy, and Roman Reigns with his energy, what would happen if they lock horns over the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship? And we find that out here today as Roman Reigns gets ready to make his entrance to the ring. No special counsel, no advisor to the tribal chief, Paul Heyman, as there are no managers permitted at ringside here for this Extreme Rules match. As they say, it will be mano a mano for the championship here today, as Roman Reigns will look to end Season 1 with a title draped over his shoulder as he enters the Season 1 finale of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. While the season will be coming to a pause after tonight, keep it tuned in right here to youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox as we will be continuing with some WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare content. The lost tapes. We've unearthed some tapes from before it was a weekly show, where we would have random matches at various WWE, WCW, ECW, NWA, Japan events. We'd be all over the world having these Fantasy Warfare matchups unbeknownst to many. And we found this cluster of tapes. And we will be unearthing those tapes in the month between the end of the season
Introducing the challenger
and
from
Season 2.
Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 202 pounds, CM Punk. And introducing the champion from Pensacola, Florida, weighing in at 265 pounds. He is the International Wrestling Grand Prix Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns.
Well, I guess coming into this one, Chicago hates both of these bastards. CM Punk getting booed by his hometown crowd here, as well as Roman Reigns. But either way, both men know what's on the line here. And as we were saying before the ring introductions, WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare, the lost tapes. We found those tapes. We're unearthing those tapes, and that will start this coming Wednesday. Of course, the usual bonus match will be posted this coming Monday. And we got a little something special going on with this week's bonus matchup. Of course, if you follow on social media, you will know that this week we're going to revisit the WWF Championship situation from WrestleMania 10 with Bret Hart, Lex Luger, and Yokozuna. On Monday at 6 p.m., it will be Lex Luger challenging Yokozuna for the WWF Championship. And if we get a different result than we did at WrestleMania 10 in 1994, which was Lex Luger being disqualified, if Lex Luger is able to defeat Yokozuna to become the WWF Champion, well then we will have one more bonus match, and it will take place Tuesday at 6 p.m., and it will be Bret the Hitman Hart challenging Lex Luger for the WWF Championship. But we'll have to see what happens on Monday first. Can Luger get the victory over Yokozuna to force the Tuesday matchup with Bret the Hitman Hart, or will everything stay the same as it was to begin with Yokozuna leaving WrestleMania 10's first championship match with the WWF Championship? An interesting way of revisiting it, and of course, we might even get to see what would have happened had Lex Luger won the championship in 1994 and gone on to face Bret the Hitman Hart in the main event of WrestleMania 10. But enough about the bonus match coming this coming Monday, March the 13th, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here at youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox. Let's get back into calling the action of this Extreme Rules match between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. These two men with a rich history as associates and opponents in the past, and here today on Fantasy Warfare, they are adversaries once more, going to war over the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and it is Roman Reigns who is in firm control at this very moment over the arm of CM Punk, keeping CM Punk grounded on the mat, and that's the place CM Punk certainly doesn't want to be. I'm sure it brings back memories of his UFC days when he spent a lot of time on his back inside the octagon. CM Punk exits the ring, going out to the floor, looking underneath the ring to see what management put there for him for weaponry, but he don't get the chance as Roman Reigns says, "No, sir." But CM Punk coming back at Roman Reigns, nice feet and kick, or excuse me, kick and punch. Feet and kick. Yeah, that's what you use to kick, is your feet usually. Punk trying to go under the ring again, and Roman Reigns one more time says, "No way, sir." Drop CM Punk with a nice punch to the jawline. Roman Reigns driving that knee into the lower spine of CM Punk. Oh, nice uppercut. CM Punk catches one and then drives a knee into the stomach of Roman Reigns. Reigns has Punk up on the shoulders. Oh, drives him down into the hardest part of the ring, face first into that wooden and metal frame area. It's metal and wood, folks. There's a metal frame, and then the wood sits right in it. Yeah, there's some padding, but hot damn, it still hurts. CM Punk with a kendo stick, now officially taking this match to the extreme, hitting Roman Reigns repeatedly over the head, and Roman able to grab it out of CM Punk's hands, and blasting CM Punk over the back of it, and then to the head, exploding the kendo stick over the head of CM Punk, also cracking the skull open at the exact same time. This match officially going to the extreme here. And many times in WWE 2K22, you'll see these extreme stipulations where nobody really takes advantage of them. These two men are definitely taking advantage of it, obliterating a kendo stick over each other's skulls in this contest. CM Punk bleeding, that crimson mask down across his face as Roman Reigns continues the offensive onslaught, but CM Punk now brings Roman Reigns back down to the mats outside the ring and back at a standing base himself, and once again going under the ring for a kendo stick. Oh, kendo stick again, one more time. Roman Reigns is being worn out by CM Punk with that kendo stick. Roman Reigns tried for the Superman punch. He got countered big time. Oh, nice neck breaker. CM Punk with the neck breaker on Roman Reigns. CM Punk using that kendo stick to wear out Reigns. Reigns is dazed and confused on the floor, finally shaking those cobwebs, and he's got the kendo stick. That may not be good for CM Punk, but CM Punk quick to counter. Roman Reigns running attempt into the ring, and he's got him in the corner. Running knee, hits him good, and a clothesline drops the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Hard kick to the spine by CM Punk. Punk now waiting on Roman to get up to his feet. Oh, Roman hits him with a nice shot to the jaw. Ran at each other and colliding. Roman's going for the guillotine. This is a move that he has used to put away many. It's what he won the IWGP Championship with. It's what he beat Bruno Sammartino with. But CM Punk will not be the man that gets defeated with the guillotine here today in Fantasy Warfare. CM Punk back up on his feet. Hits Roman Reigns with a shot to the face. Nice go behind. Take around and just toying with Roman. Slaps him in the back of his head. Now going into the Anaconda Vice. He's got the Anaconda Vice locked on Roman Reigns. Could this be enough for Roman to tap out? He's wrenching it. He's got it locked in tight center of the ring. Roman's got nowhere to go. But CM Punk must have recognized it wasn't going to be enough there. He goes into a cover. We get two. And Roman Reigns kicks out of the count of two. I think CM Punk recognized that Roman Reigns was not going to tap out to the Anaconda Vice, so he let it go, went for the cover. He's got Roman Reigns up on the shoulder, though. What's he going to go for? Could it be? Yes! Go to sleep on Roman Reigns, down into the cover. Referee is there. We get one. We get two. We get three. And we've got a brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and his name is CM Punk. What a matchup between these two. It was violent, it was hard-hitting, it was fast-paced, it was everything you'd expect out of an Extreme Rules match. But coming up next, it's a battle between the man who wants to spark the bidding war of 2024 and one of the executives who might be involved in that bidding war of 2024. On one side, it's MJF, and on the other side, it's WWE COO, head of creative, Triple H. It's coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare.
Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk.
Welcome back down to ringside for some more Fantasy Warfare action, and what a matchup we have in store for you. It's the two biggest potential players in the bidding war of 2024.
The following contest is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 232 pounds, MJF.
MJF has long been talking about the bidding war of 2024 that he intends to cap off when he becomes a free agent in the world of professional wrestling. And here today, he will do battle with the man he frequently name drops. Always calls him Trips, but here today it's Triple H, the Game, the cerebral assassin. Normally just a COO, head of creative. An executive in WWE, but here today he'll put his war attire back on, so to speak, to do battle with the brash MJF. Wonder if MJF will throw any tequila on some little kids here today. Of course, that's a reference for if you happen to watch the recent AEW Revolution pay-per-view. Triple H throwing it a little retro here today with the music, a little My Time for you. Throwing out the way, way back machine.
And his opponent from Greenwich, Connecticut, weighing in at 255 pounds, the King, Triple H!
Triple H making his way to the ring today for some fantasy warfare action here as part of our season finale, folks. We have officially crossed the halfway mark in the show. 5 matches down, 5 to go, including this one. MJF and Triple H. We still got the main event inside Hell in a Cell between The Undertaker and Bruiser Brody. We've got Kenny Omega and Sting. We've got Brock Lesnar and Shawn Michaels, and we've also got Eddie Guerrero and Bret Hart inside of a steel cage. That one will be following this contest of MJF and Triple H. The crowd here in Chicago solidly behind the game, Triple H. And this one is officially underway. MJF comes in hot and heavy with a DDT. And that does not please the audience here in Chicago. But that pleases them quite a bit as MJF misses a flying fist drop, taking to the high rent district. Well, I guess we'd call it the medium rent district because it was the middle rope. Triple H took a moment to talk some trash, and MJF chases him up to the apron and drops him with a DDT on the ring apron. As you heard in the ring introductions, this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Pulling out all the stipulations here in our season finale of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. Of course, WWE 2K23, as we've mentioned, drops in 4 days on Tuesday, March the 14th. For those of you with Deluxe and Icon Edition pre-orders, those of you with the base game, you gotta wait till Little St. Patty's Day, but you get to play that one on March 17th if you've only ordered the base game. But WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare coming to an end here tonight. We're gonna take a little pause, and then, of course, we'll be back with Season 2 of Fantasy Warfare, WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare, coming up in the beginning of April, Friday, April the 7th. MJF working over the legs of Triple H on the floor after he just Russian leg swept him into the barriers on the floor. Stomping away at the feet, or excuse me, using the feet to stomp away at the hand. I was focused on what was doing the damage, and instead kind of just ran myself in a circle. I mean, he could be stomping at the feet, but he wasn't. Instead, he is literally stomping away at the fingers. Triple H has got to have a broken finger or two at this point after having his hands stomped on like 7 different times. Triple H leaning on the announce table. Or, I don't know. I don't even know. What a glitch. What a glitch. Nice spinning forearm shot by MJF. Boot to the midsection. Going for a pump handle slam. Oh! That was not a pump handle slam, but whatever it was, dumped Triple H on the back of his head on the floor. Referee there with the count, but we only get 2. MJF bringing Triple H up to his feet. What's he going to do here? Atomic drop. Oh, nice knee to the midsection by the game. Starting to mount that offensive comeback. Throwing MJF across the ringside area to create some space between the two of them, as MJF has just been relentless with the offense. And MJF countering again. This time with another DDT running style. Taking a page out of the book of The Undertaker with that one, who will be in action in our main event. Nice double underhook powerbomb into a cover. Referee asleep at the wheel there. MJF should have had that one won. This match was over. Triple H was pinned for way more than 2 seconds on that one. Headbutt by the game drops MJF. Triple H very lucky to still be in this contest after MJF I believe, got a 3 count on that one. My goodness, power bomb. Oh, gnarly. Power bomb on the apron, followed by a spin around. Ouchie. You listen to the audience here in Chicago, there is no doubt who they want to see walk away with the victory. They probably would not have been very happy if that referee had been in position a few moments ago with that double underhook powerbomb. Triple H with the stalling suplex now, showing MJF to all of Chicago. Down he goes. Nice stalling suplex by the game as Triple H heads up to the top rope. Nice flying elbow drop right to the heart of MJF as Triple H continues to mount the offense on MJF. He's got him in a fall-away slam position. What's he going to do with him? Up on the shoulders. Drapes him down across the top rope. Driving that rope into the Adam's apple and thorax, larynx, and everything else about the throat. Triple H going for the pedigree. Oh, no pedigree on that one. MJF able to counter with a short arm clothesline. Triple H tried for the pedigree, but MJF said, no way, sir. Boot to the midsection. Gnarly DDT by MJF. This could be all for the game. And Triple H is able to kick out. MJF argues with the air. I don't know, maybe he needs a vision test. The referee was to his left. He argued to his right. Nice running knee by the game. Triple H takes down MJF. Locks up with him. Boot to the midsection, though, by MJF. Good scoop slam by MJF as he heads over to the top rope. What's he going to launch himself for? Oh, nobody home for that one. MJF went for the elbow drop, trying to follow in Triple H's footsteps from a few moments ago, but it was not to be as nobody was home. But MJF recovers quickly with a scoop slam, but he gets countered back by Triple H with a kick. Triple H has MJF up on the shoulders, bringing him over to the ropes again. Oh, this time he dumps him out to the floor. Down into the cover goes Triple H. Referee slow to get there again. And MJF kicks out. Well, at least we could say now both men have been cheated out of the victory. Triple H definitely had a 3 count there. Referee had no sense of urgency getting out to the floor. Triple H now heading back into the ring, chasing after MJF. Bringing it back to a standing base. Locked up with him. Irish whip sends him over the top rope and back down to the floor. Triple H following MJF back out to the floor. Driving those taped fists right into the skull of MJF. Possibly looking to drive a laceration into the forehead or the eyebrows of the man who seeks to be the center of the bidding war of 2024. MJF sends Triple H back into the ring. Triple H rolling back up to a standing base. MJF follows him back in, and he gets met with a spine buster by Triple H into the cover. We get a count of 2, and MJF kicks out of the count of 2. Boot to the midsection. Triple H going for the pedigree. Last time it was countered. This time it is not. No counter on the pedigree. MJF is down after the pedigree. We get 2, and that's all we get as Triple H is unable to put away MJF with the pedigree. Triple H showing a bit of sign of frustration, arguing with the referee on that one before driving those taped fists again into the skull. He could literally just be trying to bust open MJF at this point. Driving the knee into the elbow. Smart move by Triple H. Isolate one of those arms. It could be very tough. There's the blood we've been waiting on. Triple H going after both of the arms. MJF won't be able to put on any arm bars if he can't grip. Driving that knee into the crotchals one more time. It's all legal though, folks. Falls count anywhere in this one. The action may be in the ring right now, but it could spill back to the floor at any time. Pinfalls do count anywhere in the building here in Chicago. MJF brings Triple H back up. Nice knife edge chops. Follows it up with a good times DDT, dropping Triple H to the mat. MJF wasting no time, bringing Triple H back to his feet. Oh, ding! A ding, 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 low blow. MJF into the cover. This could be all for Triple H, and he kicks out one more time. MJF went to below the belt looking to put away Triple H, but he was unable to do so here. Triple H sweeps the legs out on MJF, sweeping down into a punch, but MJF rolls it over on Triple H and lands a couple of punches of his own as MJF now back up to the top rope. Last time he tried, this didn't work. It does this time. Beautiful elbow drop by MJF in the center of the ring. We get a cover. We get two. Oh, we get 2.5. MJF inches away from following up last week's shocking victory over Brock Lesnar with another shocking victory over Triple H here today, but it was not to be. Forearm shot by the game, boot to the midsection. He's got him. Arms hooked. Pedigree by Triple H on MJF. We get a cover, and we get 3. Triple H able to put away MJF. It took 2 pedigrees to do so, but in the end, Triple H, I don't know if that's maybe a message about the bidding war 2024, kind of saying, hey, it ain't going to be any easy bidding war here, my friend. It's not going to be easy negotiations. You're going to be dealing with me the game, Triple H. But Triple H gets the victory here. In our 6th match of the week, we've still got 4 to go. And coming up next, one of those 4 about to get underway. Once the steel cage is lowered, on one side it will be the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart. And on the other side, it will be Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. And that's coming up next here on Fantasy Warfare.
Here is your winner, the King, Triple H!
There you see the steel cage has been suspended above the ring. It's amazing how fast they work when they're putting this all together, but it's steel cage match time.
Is a steel cage match. Making his way to the ring from El Paso, Texas. Weighing in at 228 pounds, Eddie Guerrero!
Eddie Guerrero making his way to the ring for this steel cage matchup with Bret the Hitman Hart. In this one, pinfall, submission, and escape are allowed. Typically, we don't like the escape rule here in WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare land, but here today, both men have agreed, since it is a steel cage attraction, there's no grudge involved with either one of these 2 men. They're not needed rivals here in Fantasy Warfare, so they both have consented to the escape option here in this steel cage matchup. It's a matchup of bragging rights between Bret the Hitman Hart and Eddie Guerrero. Of course, Bret the Hitman Hart will transfer over to Season 2 as one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions with his partner Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Hart Foundation.
And his opponent, representing the Hart Foundation from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing in at 235 pounds, Bret the Hitman Hart!
Bret the Hitman Hart and Eddie Guerrero shared time together in WCW, but never really had any high-profile matchups. They might have had something on like a Thunder or maybe a Nitro that kind of swept under the radar. But here today, in Fantasy Warfare, we take them at their heights and we put them inside of a steel cage. Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat, former WWE Champion, Intercontinental Champion, United States Tag Team. The man held it all in WWE. And of course, a WWE Hall of Famer. And what can we say about Bret the Hitman Hart that hasn't already been said? 5-time WWE Champion, former Intercontinental United States and Tag Team Champion, multi-time King of the Ring winner, Hall of Fame inductee, and Bret Hart is wasting no time looking to escape here. I mean, really, at the end of the day, you got to figure if these guys consented to the escape, that kind of puts the urgency on the match for both of these guys to wrap it up as quickly as possible as Bret Hart misses a flying axe handle. Bret Hart in the corner with Eddie Guerrero now raining down. Fists of Fury as the fans counted along, but we only got to 3 before Eddie was able to shove Bret the Hitman Hart backwards. Eddie tried for a fly. Oh, jeez. Eddie tried for a flying something, but I guess the momentum wasn't enough to carry Bret and send him flying over the opposite ropes. Oh, wrestling is fun sometimes, folks. Bret Hart trying to make Eddie Guerrero submit here. Like we said, pinfall, submission, and escape, all valid methods of victory here in this steel cage matchup. So you'll see these guys, they'll try a variety of ways to win here, and they've got all the tools to do it. Eddie's got the frog splash. He knows a variety of submission holds, nothing really standing out as like a submission finisher for Eddie Guerrero, but he's got all the tools to make you tap. And of course, he's got that speed on his side, looking to try and escape. And Bret the Hitman Hart, he knows how to throw a pile driver out and knock you for a loop. He's got the sharpshooter to make you tap, and he's another one with speed and agility, which makes the escape option in this one all the more interesting, because these guys are certainly going to use their speed and their agility to climb the fencing. As you'll notice, it is the traditional fencing here for the steel cage. No classic Big Blue, no classic black cage, because for a while there they had the classic Big Blue, but they painted it black. Kind of interesting. I always wondered why they did that. What was wrong with old classic Big Blue? Why'd we have to darken the cage? Maybe it was a production thing, but I digress as Eddie Guerrero gets sent off the cage down to the canvas, and Bret the Hitman Hart now looking to climb himself up to the very top of the cage. And now Bret Hart is doing so. Eddie Guerrero is following him. What's going to happen here? Eddie better hurry up, because Bret Hart has got one leg out of the steel cage. Eddie is up on the top. And he grabs Bret and smashes his head off the top of the cage. These two guys brawling on the top of the steel cage. Oh, Eddie's head gets smashed off the cage as well. This is a very dangerous position for both of these guys to be in. Bret Hart is climbing back down into the cage for some reason. I think he got dazed and confused on that one. I don't know what he was thinking, but he punches Eddie Guerrero and stops the movement of Latino Heat. He must have been really dazed and confused after having his head smashed off the top of the cage. I don't know why you would climb down when you had 1 foot out. But Bret Hart now bringing Eddie Guerrero back down into the steel cage after a series of strikes to the back and the legs. And now Bret Hart looking to do the same. Oh, Jesus. And Bret Hart falls backwards off the top of the steel cage. And Eddie Guerrero now looking to try and escape the steel cage. Trying to get that footing set, and he's got it. Bret Hart staring there, just staring. He's doing nothing. Now he's doing something, going after Eddie Guerrero one more time, throwing those shots on top of the steel cage. Can Eddie Guerrero do anything here? I mean, kick a leg or something, Eddie. Do something, buddy. I guess not. No kicking a leg or nothing for Eddie Guerrero on that one. Bret Hart smashed off the cage. It looks like he has been busted wide open. Down he goes one more time. Eddie is trying his damnedest to get up the cage. Bret Hart dazed and confused, just standing there looking with a daze at Eddie Guerrero as Eddie continues his escape from the steel cage. Bret is just standing there doing absolutely nothing. He is dazed and confused. He might be concussed, folks, and it looks like Eddie Guerrero is going to exit the steel cage officially. There he goes. Once the 2 feet hit, he's officially the winner. And there it is. Eddie Guerrero wins the steel cage match, escaping the cage after smashing Bret Hart's face off of the cage repeatedly, causing lacerations to the Hitman, ultimately dazing and confusing him long enough to allow Eddie Guerrero to exit the steel cage. But the action here in our season finale of Fantasy Warfare continues coming up next in a singles matchup. It will be a first-time matchup as the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar goes one-on-one with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Coming
Welcome back to Fantasy Warfare, everybody. Here we go. Oh, I can't say this was the music I was expecting to hear here today. Shawn Michaels in the DX wear here today.
Making his way to the ring from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 227 pounds.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, donning the old DX wear here today for his encounter with Brock Lesnar. Maybe there's something about the DX spirit that Shawn Michaels thinks will aid him in a matchup with Brock Lesnar here today. Brock Lesnar's got to be in a foul mood coming off of last week. Of course, if you missed last week's show, Brock Lesnar suffered a shocking upset defeat to MJF here on the show. And now Brock Lesnar will look to take out that frustration on the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. These two have brawled a number of times in the past, but they have never been in the ring with an official match and the bell rung until today here on Fantasy Warfare. As you hear, I would say that's like the primal scream of Brock, that bow wow wow. It's like you're all screwed. Hear that noise? You're screwed. It's like the glass breaking.
And his opponent from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 295 pounds, Brock Lesnar!
Brock Lesnar making his way out to the ring, like we were saying. That opening noise of Brock Lesnar theme song is almost the same as like Stone Cold Steve Austin's glass breaking. When you hear that sound before the bass kicks in, you know that you are on the verge of being screwed as Brock Lesnar circles the ring like a shark circling his prey. It's a descriptor that has been used so many times about Brock Lesnar when he circles a ring, but it's the most accurate descriptor to use. The man is a living, breathing shark who has been eating his opponents alive. Periodically, full-time, part-time, many times over the years, from 2002 all the way to present day 2023, as Brock Lesnar prepares for a WrestleMania showdown with Omos. Or Omos. Either way. Not sure anybody really wants to see that one, but that's not what we talk about here. We talk about current wrestling over on the Twitch channel. We also don't really promote that here because it's all about Fantasy Warfare on this show. But if you follow me across all social media, you know where to find me, at Bloody Bill Vox. As this one is officially underway, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels, our 8th match of the week here in Fantasy Warfare, the season finale. And Brock Lesnar brings Michaels up to the standing base. Oh no, Fisherman's Buster right away. Oh my goodness, a Fisherman's Buster right away in the early moments of this one. Brock Lesnar showing the power big time power slam by Brock Lesnar on Shawn Michaels. Hard shot to the jaw. Michaels blocks the second attempt. Lesnar returning to throwing those straight jabs and body shots before whipping Michaels around the ring like a sack of potatoes. German suplex by Brock Lesnar. That's one. We're officially in Suplex City. We've taken one trip there. Michaels countering whatever Lesnar was going to go for on that one. And Lesnar whips Michaels around the ring like a sack one more time. And then he hits him with the Saito suplex. Lesnar is absolutely dominating this matchup between he and Shawn Michaels. Beautiful spine buster by Brock Lesnar on the Heartbreak Kid. Looks like Lesnar's going to go for a submission here, hanging Michaels upside down, stretching that calf over the bulky neck of the Beast Incarnate. But Michaels able to break himself free. Springboard attempt with a back elbow, successful on that one. Michaels up on the second rope, but he gets down as Lesnar was already back on his feet. Very smart by Michaels not to try that leaping attempt when Lesnar had his sights on him. Nice gut buster by the Heartbreak Kid, now returning back to the ropes, looking to follow up on whatever he was trying before, and he hits it. The flying elbow drop. Could he be going for Sweet Chin Music next? Nope. Went for a nice knife edge chop, instead dropping Lesnar to the mat, and Lesnar kicks out of the count of 2. Michaels now going to go for Sweet Chin Music, tuning up the band. Not turning up the band. I mean, you could be turning it up and tuning it up all at the same time. Doesn't matter what word you use because Michaels hit it. Now he's dragging Lesnar out to a better position for a pinfall. Referee there in great position, and Lesnar kicks out of Sweet Chin Music. Michaels can't believe that Sweet Chin Music was kicked out of by Brock Lesnar. Michaels trying for a scoop slam, and Lesnar basically laughed it off and clubbed at the spine of Michaels. Lesnar drapes Michaels down across the top rope, and now Brock Lesnar is stalking Shawn Michaels. He's got him up on the shoulders. Could it be F5 time? And down he goes. F5 by Brock Lesnar into the cover, but Michaels has a hand under the ropes. He got saved big time by the rope break. Able to get that hand under the bottom rope. Lesnar with a hammerlock on Michaels that gets countered. Michaels with the magical number 3 punches sends Lesnar away. Now hit him with multiple shots. Nice snap suplex by the Heartbreak Kid, looking to keep Lesnar down. Michaels trying to get into the corner, not having much success with the run there. So he gets out and misses the big time elbow. He tried for the big elbow a second time. Lesnar picks him right up to a standing base. Lesnar's got him up. Could it be? Yes, it is. The F5 one more time. This time, Michaels is not under the ropes. Referee is there. We get 2, and we get 3. Brock Lesnar with the victory over the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. It didn't take long for him to get it done. These guys brought the heavy artillery right out of the gate. As you saw Shawn Michaels hit the Sweet Chin Music, Lesnar hit 2 F5s in this one, except Michaels got saved by the ropes on 1. But we still have 2 more matches left to go here this week in our season finale of Fantasy Warfare. Coming up next, it will be Kenny Omega going one-on-one with the man they call Sting. Fantasy Warfare rolls on, coming up next.
Lesnar!
Welcome back, everybody. It's our semi-main event of the week. 2 men who have been on the losing end of things recently. One of them's going to rebound and get a victory here this week. Will it be our first participant or will it be our second participant? We're going to find out very shortly.
One fall, making his way to the ring from every man's nightmare. Weighing in at 246 pounds, the Icon.
Sting making his way to the ring in his most recent Fantasy Warfare encounter. He was on the losing end of a battle with The Rock. And of course, Kenny Omega on the losing end of a battle with The Undertaker last week here on Fantasy Warfare. One of these 2 men will have to walk away with the victory. Of course, I say that, maybe we'll get our first double count out in Fantasy Warfare history. Sting and Kenny Omega very well could cross paths someday in AEW, but that day has yet to come in a one-on-one matchup. But never say never, you never know. It really could happen. Especially with Kenny Omega in a in a stable.
And his
Sting
opponent
frequently
from
hanging around
Winnipeg,
stables. You never know.
Manitoba, Canada, weighing in at 227 pounds, Kenny Omega.
Or maybe not him so much that Sting hangs around stables. It's that people hang around him and Darby, and they kind of create a little bit of a stable in a way for their battles they've had in the past. But the point remains, Sting and Kenny Omega never crossed paths in AEW, but that's not to say they couldn't cross paths in the future. But the future doesn't matter when we've got it right here and now in Fantasy Warfare. Sting and Kenny Omega this week, our semi-main event of Fantasy Warfare. One match to go after this one. Hell in a Cell for the Hardcore Championship. The Undertaker and Bruiser Brody gonna do battle in our final match of the season. Of course, as we talked about earlier on, we do have some special content planned for in between Season 1 and Season 2. WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare, The Lost Tapes. A series of matches unearthed from before we were doing it as a weekly show when Fantasy Warfare was kind of just tacking on to a variety of different events. They happen to vary as WWE, WCW, ECW, NWA, you name it, it has happened. And we're going to unearth those tapes starting on Wednesday, March 15th. Start the unearthing process. And we'll be presenting those 3 times a week in between Season 1 and Season 2 of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. Of course, if you're following on social media at Bloody Bill Vox, you know all the details about the Lost Tapes and the return of Fantasy Warfare in Season 2 as Kenny Omega hits a quick ripcord knee and then tries for the springboard moonsault, but Sting moved the hell out of the way. I don't even know how he could have moved out of the way after getting rocked like that. Sting up on the top rope, comes down with a double axe handle, but Kenny Omega says, "No way, sir. I got you good in the gut." Nice knife edge chop by Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega looking to end Season 1 on a winning note. Kenny Omega's had a number of infamous matches here in Season 1. That crazy ladder match with Kurt Angle, his feud with Roman Reigns, that 3-on-3 Hell in a Cell with the Elite and the Bloodline, of course the backstage brawl with Roman and Kenny Omega, and then the IWGP Championship match that blew off the rivalry between Roman and Kenny. During our Viewers' Choice Month, the feud was so heated that management decided there had to be one non-Viewers' Choice matchup on the show as Sting dropped Kenny Omega on the top of his head big time as Sting goes from behind. He's got him, shin breaker. Yes, it is. Nice shin breaker by Sting. Looking to start weakening the legs of Kenny Omega. That was just disgusting. Sting was looking to start weakening the legs for a Scorpion Deathlock, but Kenny Omega said, "Hey, how about a double arm screw your neck drop?" Sting with a back rake on Kenny Omega, going for a scoop slam, but he gets countered. Sting with a back elbow to Kenny Omega, locking up with him. Press slam. Oh, look at the power of Sting as he drops Kenny Omega. Sting now dragging Omega around the ring. Scorpion Deathlock. He's locking it up. He didn't get to do much weakening of the legs, but he's got Omega very close to the ropes. Omega would not have to crawl very far to get a rope break, but it doesn't look like Omega is able to even shift his body weight and able to move, so instead he focuses on breaking the hold, which he is able to do. Kenny Omega saving himself from the Scorpion Deathlock, using the leg strength. As we said, Sting didn't have much of a chance to weaken the legs of Kenny Omega, and I think that came back to bite him on that one. Oh, again on the back of the head. Full Nelson German suplex by Kenny Omega into the cover on Sting, and Sting's able to kick out. Omega bringing Sting back up to his feet and hits him with the V-trigger. V-trigger right to the jawline. Referee in position, and that is all for Sting as Kenny Omega picks up the huge victory with that running V-trigger right to the jawline of the man they call Sting, as Kenny Omega able to end Season 1 on a winning note, picking up the victory over Sting here today. But we still have one more match to go, my friends. It is our main event inside of a Hell in a Cell for the Hardcore Championship. Never thought I'd see that one main eventing here in Fantasy Warfare, but nonetheless it is. Hardcore Championship on the line as The Undertaker challenges Bruiser Brody, and that one is coming up next.
Here is your winner, Kenny Omega! The following contest is a Hell in a Cell match and is for the Hardcore Championship.
Talk about a sentence I never thought I would hear before. The following contest is a Hell in a Cell match and it is for the Hardcore Championship. You know, there's been crazier things said in wrestling, I'm sure, but that one's up there, I'll tell you. And here comes participant number 1, shedding the dead man look here today, getting on the motorcycle for this Hell in a Cell matchup with Bruiser Brody. The Undertaker and Bruiser Brody have crossed paths before in The Undertaker's very early days, before he was ever even known as The Undertaker, and he has even said that he got the hell beaten out of him by Bruiser Brody. But will that be the same here today as an established, skilled, and seasoned American badass, The Undertaker, enters Hell in a Cell with one of the most savage and sadistic men to ever enter pro wrestling, Bruiser Brody? I don't think we will see the same result that was seen by whoever saw Bruiser Brody beat the hell out of a young Mark Calloway, also known as The Undertaker. Here comes the Hardcore Champion himself. It's Bruiser Brody, everybody. I don't know if people have a lot to say about the Hardcore Championship. I even made my jokes about it earlier on, but if ever there was a fitting champion for that belt, it was Bruiser Brody. Could you imagine if he was actually in that division? He would have probably only ever needed the chain. I mean, I'm sure he would have utilize any of the plugger around, but I think it would have been fewer and further between compared to some of the other competitors inside the hardcore division when it existed in World Wrestling Entertainment. But all the same, here we go, Hardcore Championship about to be on the line. We're going to take down to the ring for the introduction of our participants here in our Fantasy Warfare season finale main event.
Introducing the challenger from Death Valley, weighing in at 330 pounds, The Undertaker! And introducing the champion from Santa Fe, New Mexico, weighing in at 284 pounds, he is the Hardcore Champion, Bruiser Brody!
Bruiser Brody showing off the Hardcore Championship hardware to everybody. I got to admit that the title looks like it's had a little bit of sprucing up. It's got a shine to it I've never quite seen it have before. The Undertaker, a former Hardcore champion, he has held that belt once before, holding it in 2002. The Hell in a Cell structure officially lowering around everybody. The referee checking with both participants, and we are officially underway. It's our main event of Fantasy Warfare It's kind of ironic that the first announced main event of Fantasy Warfare in Season 1 was a Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Sting. And here we are in Episode 18, the season finale. We are closing it out with a Hell in a Cell match. Now you might be saying, hey, Season 1, Episode 1 did not end with the Hell in a Cell matchup, and you are very correct. We felt The Undertaker and Sting didn't perform up to the expectations of a season debut. So we had 30 participants run their asses down to the ring for a Royal Rumble match. But we're talking announced main events, that's right. A little technicality, a little asterisk, the announced main event. Taker just beating the hell out of Brody. He must be like, hey, I remember that beating from back in the day when I was a little youngster here in the world of wrestling, and you beat the holy hell out of me. I'm gonna beat the holy hell out of you. Nice power slam counter by The Undertaker. Taker now grabs that sledgehammer. That's got to be about one of the only weapons you could beat Brody with to keep him down, and even 2 shots from the hammer didn't keep him down. 2 shots from the hammer just seemed to piss him off. Taker and Brody brawling it out here as Bruiser Brody just with a wonderful hip toss takes The Undertaker over. I don't know what the hell that was. That made me dizzy. But it was devastating, whatever the hell it was. It took The Undertaker down. Taker sweeping the legs out on Bruiser Brody, smashing the hand off the canvas. Taker with a short and shallow elbow drop on Bruiser Brody. Now bringing Brody back up to his feet and sends him flying across the ring. Taker driving that sledgehammer again into the torso of Bruiser Brody. Tried for a 3rd shot. Brody moves out of the way again. How is Brody absorbing all these sledgehammer shots? Oh, a choke slam. Taker quickly into the cover. Referee is there. Will we get 3 on this one? No, we do not. I should have figured the answer to that question was no. Bruiser Brody has absorbed 4 different sledgehammer shots so far in this matchup with The Undertaker, and has managed to get right back up to his feet as The Undertaker hits Snake Eyes on Bruiser Brody, and going into the triangle choke, the Hell's Gate on Bruiser Brody. And that's one way to keep him down. Choke him till he's passed out. I sure as hell can make a joke about Puerto Rico while trying to keep Bruiser Brody down. But we all know the story there. We don't need to make jokes about that one, but I will admit that it crossed this commentator's mind. Brody with a hard shot to the torso, and a second one, and another. Bruiser Brody going to town with the sledgehammer, returning all the shots, but The Undertaker absorbs them all himself and hits Bruiser Brody with the flying clothesline. Boot to the midsection. Could it be time for a last ride? No, it's not. No last ride as Brody back body drops The Undertaker and goes back to that sledgehammer. These 2 monsters have just been utilizing the sledgehammer thus far. Brody was choking out The Undertaker, but Taker was able to counter away. Brody counters whatever attack Taker was coming back with the shots in the midsection. Got him on the shoulders. Taker countering with elbows, gets himself back down to a standing base. Lock up. Bam! Complete shot. Taker's got Brody up on the shoulders, but Brody countering the same way The Undertaker did just moments ago. Arm wringer by Brody. Got him up. Nice side suplex with the arm trapped from behind. It was a hammerlock suplex. Hammerlock side suplex to be more exact. Brody has got Taker, and he just dumps him to the floor like a sack of potatoes. I guess in that case, it was more like a sack of bricks, because he dropped him like he was having a hard time holding him. Taker with a jawbreaker. I think Taker was trying for a boot there, but it didn't really work out for him. Bruiser Brody sends The Undertaker down into the ring steps. That didn't really work out for him either. Whole lot of not working out for everybody in this one. Taker jawbreaker one more time. Brody with a jawbreaker himself. European uppercut by Bruiser Brody on The Undertaker, and Taker returns some of the same as these 2 continue brawling it out on the floor. And now Bruiser Brody busted wide open by The Undertaker. Taker sends Brody into the ring steps. Thought maybe he was going to go for the Hell's Gate on the floor. Brody shoving The Undertaker away with a nice hard shot. Taker gets hit with the European uppercut. Oh, into the cage wall. Brody sends The Undertaker. And one more time. This time he sends him flying down to the floor. Not quite sure what Bruiser Brody's endgame is here. He just keeps whipping The Undertaker back and forth. I thought for a moment there he might have been trying to break free from the Hell in a Cell structure. But instead he sends The Undertaker back into the ring. Maybe Brody realizing that the structure had been reinforced, knowing that it was The Undertaker and Bruiser Brody. And The Undertaker's got Bruiser Brody. He's walking around. Last ride for Bruiser Brody. Taker into the cover. We get 2. And Bruiser Brody kicks out of the count of 2. The last ride, not enough to put the madman known as Bruiser Brody away. Now The Undertaker heading into the corner. Could it be time for some old school rope walker? Down he comes with the old school rope walker. And now The Undertaker is stalking Bruiser Brody. Boot to the midsection. Could it be another last ride? He's got him up. Referee in our freaking way, but it was a last ride. The Undertaker into the cover. We get 2, and we get 3. The Undertaker wins the Hardcore Championship, defeating Bruiser Brody here in our main event of the week. What a matchup. Bruiser Brody really tried to break through the cell wall for a little while there, but I don't think he quite had the mechanics of it figured out because he wasn't really getting nowhere, and it ended up coming back to haunt him as The Undertaker lands 2 last rides to pick up the victory and become the brand new Hardcore Champion here in our season finale of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare. Well, my friends, that officially brings Season 1 of WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare to a close. I'd like to take this quick moment here to thank everybody that has come along during Season 1 and watched the individual matches, watched the full shows, chatted along, offered suggestions, offered matches, whatever you have done on this road. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to come here each and every week and watching WWE 2K22 Fantasy Warfare content. It has been a thrill to be putting together this show each and every week for you, the viewer. And I look forward to bringing it all back for Season 2. Come on back. Friday night, April the 7th, 6 p.m. right here at youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox. It will be the Season 2 premiere of WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare. And of course, you might be asking yourself, what are we going to do in the next month? Is it just going to be crickets around the Fantasy Warfare YouTube channel? Absolutely not. During Season 1, Mondays we would post a bonus match. Wednesdays we would give you the match card, and Fridays we would give you a full episode. Well, over this next month, be sure to come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because we will be dropping bonus matches each of those days as we get ready for Season 2 of WWE 2K23 Fantasy Warfare. But until that time, I have been your host, Bloody Bill Vox. You can find me on social media at Bloody Bill Vox across all the wild, wild land. And until Friday night, April the 7th at 6 p.m. Eastern, you kids keep it safe out there. But then you come on back here April the 7th, and you know where I'll be? I'll be at ringside. And you know who I'll see there? I'll see you at ringside.